has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on Avenge Coast to Coast in the biggest way possible. Hanging out. The bad say the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City. The Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shakeout up should do me. Along with the Tutty and Tater King, the founder of the ILC podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, and the put it with the golf guru himself, Carver. Hi this afternoon, ladies. Mafia is running it along with our boy Luke. I am the father. The rundown on a Terrible Towel Tuesday. A double shot with Morency this very hour from British Columbia. Plus, our boy, Eric Hasseltine of the Memphis Grizzlies. My guy came through with the Jaws. My guy. Unbelievable, this guy Hasseltine. All right, and then in the final hour, look at this. A rendezvous a day early with Stewie from Read the Line coming in on a Tuesday. There has to be interference on Wednesday to pull him in on a Tuesday. What is the difference? We still got him, Keith Stewart from Read the Line, as we get closer and closer to the Masters. It's April, Carver High. You can feel it.
You can feel it. And yes, Stewie can't do tomorrow, so we got to make sure we get him in because we need his plays for the Valero this week down in San Antonio, the final stop before they take the drive down Magnolia Lane.
Gasoline Open.
Next week. The Gasoline Open this week down at TPC San Antonio. So we'll get all of Stewie's picks. We'll still do a Golf Wednesday tomorrow with Cam and Brady because we have Liv in Miami this week too.
Las Vegas golfer.
Las Vegas golfer tomorrow getting involved. So we're very, very busy. Let me I'll start here. I'll flip this around a little bit because they're starting this Crown game in Vegas with, of course, DePaul and Cincinnati are playing in the first game today. And first of all, the governor's on the call, which is just an amazing thing to see because everybody loves the governor, Tim Brando, the one and only. There's 4 games again today out there. This is the first one tipping. I've got Cincinnati minus 9.5 and a 144.5. But the funniest part, why I wanted to bring this up first with you today was, did you see that all these books took this tournament off the board all over the country, like in a lot of states? New York did, New Jersey did, Illinois, Arizona. A lot of took them off because, they're playing for an NIL pot at the end of the rainbow of like 500,000 or something. So the winning team is, I guess, splitting this NIL pot. So because it's technically playing for money and not a collegiate athletic event, this wasn't regulated in a bunch of states. And a lot of states have this off the board waiting for it to get approved. Now, you can still bet it in Nevada, in Vegas, a bunch of plays like that where the tournament's in a few other states. But
I wasn't sure if you saw that. Are we on the air?
I thought that was very, very bizarre that you saw it all coming off the board in a lot of places last night.
I know people taking action on that on these games. I can tell you that much. So I don't know anything about all this other nonsense. I didn't know they were playing for a pot of gold. That's great. I'm just glad they're playing basketball, and I'm glad it's on in the afternoon, and mostly glad to see the Gov calling the games with Donnie Marshall in Sin City. He spends a week in Sin City to make it a beautiful baby.
Now, I didn't check in late last night. I know Georgetown didn't start until real late. Did the governor do the whole run, or did they bring someone else in for the night session? Is the governor doing the entire run of games? He's not doing all 4 games a day, is he?
Luke knows that the reviews are in from last night's basketball banquet at the fancy restaurant. And at the time that I got back from that drowning of alcohol where I got thrown into the rum pitcher, I was not in any condition to check to see if the governor was still calling late night Crown basketball games. However, I did have a fantastic meal and wonderful camaraderie with the boys. They're trying to talk me out of retirement. I want to call it a day, leave on top, and they refuse to let me stop playing.
Well, so there you go. They talked you into it. They got you out.
They have not talked me into it. They tried to talk me into it. I still have not agreed to anything. Sure. I want a new 2-year deal. And I also want to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league.
Well, that's a very difficult thing to do. You got a lot of guys making big money.
They showed pictures last night, Mike, of me like 8 years ago in a game when I got cut in the face and I was gushing blood. Mafia was at that game, and they covered me with a bunch of Band-Aids, and I kept playing. And the one thing that we all noticed was how much thinner I was then. They were like, look at you. You were thin. And then they were like, look at you now. You're like Santa Claus. So it wasn't good going back in time to see the evolution of my downfall.
Elsewhere, we have a lot of news out of those NFL meetings in Florida. Lots of rule changes going on there.
Even rules.
Rules, replay assist. They're finally using that Hawkeye. They're not going to let the old men with the chains go out and measure them. They're still going to be there on the side, but they're like the second line of defense.
Stick
like
figures.
They're going to use the Hawkeye technology.
I bet those guys are getting pay cuts to do nothing.
And, of course, the hottest topic was this tush push, which, of course, they're just going to table. They're not even going to vote on it. They're going to come back to that in May. So the tush push is not going to be voted on. But apparently it was close, but they didn't have enough votes to get rid of it. I think I saw 15 or 16 teams were going to vote against it. That's not enough. I think you need 24 in order to be able to change it. So they're not going to be able to do that. So lots of rules. Art Rooney II spoke today about Aaron Rodgers. Headed in our direction. Says it's positive, he hears. So even he's like, I guess, out in the cold with this. He thinks he's coming.
I gotta be honest. That surprises me that he opened his mouth and started talking about this guy coming there, and he has no deal whatsoever, unless you're right about your McAfee thing that it's going to be announced next week during that event. It sounds to me like that's inevitable.
Yeah, I just saw
whoever's thing it is that you mentioned yesterday. I think it's inevitable that it's happening that way. What other reason is there to have a party in Pittsburgh on the TV or radio? I went there and I did funeral shows there. I didn't do parties. I mean, I did.
It probably will be a party next week whenever they get around to announcing that he's going to be the Steeler quarterback. It seems like everyone's in lockstep with that right now. So we'll go through that. We've got lots of other college. How about Buzz Williams ended up leaving for that Maryland job? He left Texas A&M this morning.
Left his home state and went for the money.
He don't like being anywhere for that long. I mean, he's done 5 or 6 years at Marquette. He went to Virginia Tech. 5 or 6 years at Virginia Tech. Went to Texas A&M. 3 years at Texas A&M. Back to Maryland. Over to the East Coast of Maryland. And maybe he just doesn't like laying his head somewhere for a long time. He likes moving around, seeing different places.
I think he likes new challenges, but this one's a 6-year deal. So at what point is he going to leave and screw them? He screws everybody eventually.
He does eventually get around to doing all of that. We've got last night and tonight's NBA, last night and tonight's Major League Baseball. We got a full slate of baseball.
Oh, how about the polar bear last night with the big yardage marker ringing the bell?
Polar bear ringing the bell. And how about Jake Berger down 14-2 or whatever it was, hitting one in the ninth with 2 outs for us also.
The Baconator.
We had your boy Berger with the Baconator did get it done too. So we got some taters. We'll have more tonight. Hopefully ringing the bell with a few of these guys. So very busy Tuesday. Very busy.
Always busy.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
You can catch Sports Rage weeknights at 10 Eastern on all of our TV and radio outlets. You catch Morency with us every day on Coast to Coast from Vancouver with a double shot. Gabe, Carver High was telling me about this Crown tournament that I've been watching and enjoying. I'm glad there's games on. I don't care what you call the tournament. I don't care what, is involved. And then he told me there's money involved in it, and so you can't bet it anywhere unless you're in Nevada. I was highly disappointed in that news. I immediately went to the underworld. I said that I'm sure I can find someone that'll take the action on it. And there's games all night long. What do you think of them banning the betting on it?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But state laws are state laws. It varies by state a lot. Most of the mainstream sports books took it off at the request of their local gaming commissions. Like you said, Scott, nobody's paying attention to this. Wait till the commissions find out about the W bit that we were betting on, Scott. The WBIT, right? So it wasn't sanctioned, this tournament. The legality of it is it's like a professional tournament, Scott. It's almost like the TBT. There's NIL deals on the line for the winning kids. $300,000. So, there's an incentive for the players to want to win this. They're going to get NIL deals. The winning team, and the winning team gets $300K, whatever. Second place, $100K, whatever it is. So there's sort of a prize pool for this, Scott, and therefore it's not. They're not allowed betting on it for whatever reason. But what's the difference about this than if a team gets paid to play in a bowl game? Michigan aren't playing in a Rose Bowl for free. People, the Rose Bowl are paying them. Right? They're getting money to go to play in that game. So I don't know what the difference is because the kids are actually getting the money now. There seems to be some sort of betting issue, but I personally don't have a problem with it, Scott. And I have DePaul plus 10 right now as we speak. We just tipped off Bearcats and the Demons. So I took DePaul plus 10. Listen, DePaul are actually not a bad basketball team. I think they're better than their record indicates. We saw them give Creighton all they can handle in the Big East tournament. Getting a 10 spot. I think they're going to play loose. They're going to play fun. And like you said, Scott, who cares what the tournament's called? King of the Court, Crown of this, the Crown of whatever the hell it's called. The fact of the matter is every game went over yesterday, dude. And I think we'll sort of see that theme continue. We got some higher totals as the day goes on, but these basketball games, guys, when you're betting on them, they're like bowl games, all right? They're like lower-tier bowl games. Now you're into the Final Four, the NIT. The coaches will take it seriously, and they'll call kids out for not playing defense. Like, once you get into the Final Four, the NIT, it's a little bit different. But you get into these CBI, CITs, King of the Courts, Crown of the Courts, whatever. You know, the coaches are just happy the kid, number one, hasn't transferred yet and went to another school. Number two, they're just happy that the kids are playing for them still. They're not yelling at them, Scott. You know the drill, bro. It's like, let's have some fun. Let's run and gun. Take your shots, kid, and let's see where the chips fall. And that's why you get all these overs. It's like college football bowl games, right? Coaches, all right, let's work that trick play that we never used all year. We'll go for a fake punt. We got nothing to lose. This game's for fun. They want to win. Right? They want to win, but they also understand the kids are not going to be engaged if you yell at them for 8 months out of 12 months a year. So they're going to have some fun out there. I like the overs. I'm on the over of this game, Scott, with the Bearcats and DePaul, and I'm on DePaul plus 10. And let's go the over the next game.
Did you watch all the games last night? Did the governor, did Brando call all 4 games?
I don't know because I'm on the air, Scott. I don't have the sound up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? I didn't see.
We don't know if he's calling, if he's like doing the whole thing tonight through the Tulane USC game at 8 West. Like,
no, that's too long. He's not there from 3 until 1 in the morning.
Well, it'd be noon.
It's
noon out there right
noon
now.
Noon to 10. Yeah, it's still 11 now. That's 4 games in a row. No, they've got to have somebody else.
Well, if he got on some of that Profar fuel, he might be able to make it.
Yeah.
What do you think of that guy getting banned after all those home runs last year?
Now we know why he threw the ball at the Dodger fans. The guy had roid rage, right? Remember last year? He got into it in the outfield, and he wanted to go into the stands after and stuff. So, I don't know, Scott. I kind of figure in today's day and age, bro, if you get, like, suspended, like, you're pretty stupid, and you must have really, really done something for real. Right, because they don't want to suspend you, bro. I covered the Expos. I was around the Expos in the steroid era. It was literally like the roid era, right? Bonds and all that type of stuff, and McGuire and Sosa and stuff. And Major League Baseball used to send a random drug test, and it'd be like once a month type of deal. Like they would do it. But get this, everybody that was on steroids would magically disappear from the clubhouse. And, I don't know, he's in the shower. I don't know, he's working out somewhere. I see he was just here. They're just like kids, Scott. I don't know. Oh, what? And Joey, I saw him somewhere. I think he's in the bullpen somewhere, right? And all these guys just sort of disappear around the stadium, even though they're in the stadium. Like they punch the time clock. I'm here, so they're not hiding, but then they go hide. But there's an understanding, Scott, of the drug testers. Listen, we don't want to bust anybody. Like Jamie Carroll, guys. I'm just throwing out a random name here. Look up Jamie Carroll after. Guy's like 5'8", overachiever, lifelong minor leaguer, made the big leagues and stuff. Loves God, hardcore Christian guy, Scott. This guy did more drug tests than Courtney Love in his career, all right? And why was Jamie Carroll the one? They were like, Jamie's not on steroids. So he would be there like waiting for the test. Hey, guys, I'll take the test. And they'd be like, yeah, we know you're not on steroids. But 18 other guys are on your team. But the Expos would just roll out 3 or 4 to Christian smaller dudes that weren't on the juice. And I was like, this is how random testing works. So you got to be a dumbass to get caught. Your boy and my boy, Kyle Turley, told me this, Scott.
Yeah.
He goes, man, if you get busted by the NFL for smoking weed, you're just that stupid because, like, they do everything not to catch you.
It's true. So, by the way, the second 2 games, the night games, Kugler and Hummel call those. Brando does.
Hummel, yeah.
He does the 2 afternoon games with Daniel Marshall.
He goes out to dinner like you, Scott. He's going out for a nice dinner.
I went out to a nice dinner last night. We'll come back with Morency causing trouble on a Tuesday on Coast to Coast.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. You studied the stats. You had the perfect bracket until your upsets turned into regrets. SportsGrid rides the highs and lows of every buzzer beater, bracket buster, and Cinderella story.
The Big Ten Freshman of the Year!
Our team brings you sharp insights, real-time reactions, and all the madness. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
If you look at how the men and women did it, the men, the portal opened up the day after the round of 32. Same thing with the women. Men on Monday, women on Tuesday. Why can't they just do the day after the national championship game when the season ends, next season begins, then you open up the portal. All teams have completed play. All bets are off.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
So I did hit Butler yesterday on your ass, Morency, with your boy Thad Motto over the interim coach. Let's go with some of these plays tonight that I want to get from you. Florida at Montreal at the Bell Center, Edmonton at Vegas in the NHL, those two games. I know that the Canadians are going for a season sweep of the Panthers, and they just came off a win in Sunrise.
Yeah, they're big underdogs, although the price has come down a little bit. I see the Canadians in the plus 140 range. Right now, total 6. The Canadians fighting for a playoff spot right now, hanging on to the last spot. Looks like Ottawa are going to get in. We got that battle for the last wild card spot. So it's a massive game for the Canadians tonight. They're 3-0 against the Panthers this year for whatever reason. They just played over the weekend in Florida, and the Canadians beat them, and there was some bad blood at the end of the hockey game. And Mikkola of the Panthers has been fined a maximum amount by the National Hockey League. He fired a puck at the Canadians, Scott. And I see it's a $5,000 fine. Bro, if I was in the NHL, I'd be getting a lot of $5 fines, Scott. I got to tell you. Like, if I knew, all right, I can tee up a puck at people randomly, and I'm going to get fined $5,000 only for it. Why not? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who cares? Like, I'd pick my spots, but it's a real Bush League thing to do. This is like what we did as kids. Like in my, you know what I mean? This is like, I played in like a goon juvenile delinquent league. That's like the stuff we did. Like, you know, I mean, bet on who can hit the opposing coach with a puck on the bench type stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the Flyers did this, guys. The Flyers did this. Yes, God, it's true. I'm getting a little behind the scenes hockey culture here. I've been told this story too many times, but Ken Hitchcock, remember him? Great coach. Used to be a very big guy. All right? Really large man.
Really fat.
Yeah. And some guys on the Philadelphia Flyers were not fans of the way that he talked to them. So it got to the point in practice where they were shooting pucks at him and like trying to scare him and stuff. And they knew he couldn't get out of the way. And like one guy told me, he was a big target, Gabe. That's what they told me.
It's like that Walrus Geico commercial.
Yeah, so he'd be on the ice, Scott, like bitching and hitting his stick and yelling at everyone, and someone would just rifle a puck off the glass near his head. And it was a warning shot. Like, you better shut up, bro. Because you know what? Like, I got like hockey players, guys, it's like holding a gun with these guys. If they want to, they can tee up a puck at your face, and you got a problem. Like they want to hit you, they could. You know what I mean? So, or at least they're going to come close, and you know, and you got a puck coming at 104 miles an hour will not be fun. It could kill you. So you sort of got to be careful with it. So yeah, at the end of the game, you know, there was the puck was bouncing around. The puck, the end of the two things you can't do. You can't fire the puck at people and you can't fire the puck into a net after the whistle blows. That's another thing, like another hockey code thing. So anyways, the guy on the Panthers teed up a puck at the Canadians at the end of the game, and they got in his face after. There was a mini scrum. They're playing again tonight. I'm a little bit concerned about going heavy on the Canadians tonight just because they are 3-0 against the Panthers. You know the Panthers are going to be in a bad mood this evening, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went to overtime. A game that really fascinates me tonight, Scott, quickly in the NHL is the Jets and the Kings, man. The Jets are a dangerous team. They don't get their love because they're sort of like the Buffalo Bills. They're good a lot, but they don't get it done in the playoffs. But the Jets are good. They're a fun hockey team. And they get the Kings tonight, who were dominant on their home ice. They stumbled in Colorado the other night, and they lost against the Leafs. So it's a big game tonight. I sort of expect the Kings to get back in a winner's circle, but I really like the under 5.5 in that game, Scott. And as far as the Oilers and the Knights, give me the Knights tonight. I think the Oilers, Leon Draisaitl's a badass. You could argue he's the MVP of the league, but I think the Knights get it done.
What about the Dodgers in May against Sale at the Ravine, and they're 6-0?
Well, you could argue either Imanaga or Sale. I'll say Sale is the best pitcher that they faced this year, right? So, point blank, this is the Dodgers' toughest test as far as their arms. May hasn't pitched in forever. So, what are we going to get from May? But it's hard to get in front of this Dodger team right now. All they do is win, even though they got guys out of the lineup. So, it's Dodgers or pass for me tonight, Scott. And in the NIT this evening, I'm going to go with UC Irvine to get it done. And there's something about this Loyola Chicago team. They're finding a way, Sister Jean style. Give me Loyola Chicago on the money line, minus 140, and give me UC Irvine plus
the
1.5.
Moccasins never lose in any tournament game ever. They never lose. The Mocs.
This is at the Hinkle Fieldhouse in Butler. It's hard to keep.
I don't care where it is. I love the Ramblers, but I bet on the Mocs always. Of course, I've been there. I've been to the Hinkle 25 times. But I'm gonna go Mocs. Great stuff, Brent. Great show tonight, buddy.
Thank
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. You studied the stats. You had the perfect bracket until your upsets turned into regrets. SportsGrid rides the highs and lows of every buzzer beater, bracket buster, and Cinderella story.
The Big Ten Freshman of the Year!
Our team brings you sharp insights, real-time reactions, and all the madness. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
If you look at how the men and women did it, the men, the portal opened up the day after the round of 32. Same thing with the women. Men on Monday, women on Tuesday. Why can't they just do the day after the national championship game when the season ends, next season begins, then you open up the portal. All teams have completed play. All bets are off.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
As you know, Carver High, I took a stab at the Rangers Devils game Saturday for juice, and I had yesterday been told by Mafia, good luck with that. You're not getting in there. And then I was like, we'll see about that. And then I went for it, and that's the first time ever in the history, in 30 years, first time ever that I got foiled on the Rangers Devils game. Now I could buy them easily for, $500. I hate, it's not like I'm not paying that to see teams I don't care about. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Devils I'm okay with because I can go watch their games. I'm a train ride away from the Devils games, but I don't really care. When I go to their games, I got to be honest with you, the best part of their games is the juice I have there where I get into the free food and booze bar and I can go in there and eat my face off and eat prime rib and drink rum for nothing. I took Cam there. You get into that bar, you don't even watch the game. You're just eating and drinking. And you don't even watch any of the games on. You're like, yeah, whatever. I saw Danica. I go, good to see you. He goes, where are you? I go, I'm eating and drinking. And I couldn't get in. I got the Penguins, though. I'm going to the Penguin game. And meanwhile, the Penguins are ass mustard. Stone ground ass mustard, by the way. Not just normal mustard. Stone ground ass mustard.
Well, anytime you get a chance to see Sid play, that's always good. So you get to see Sid play that day, and that's really all that matters. All right, let's get things going today. Like I said, very busy, a lot to get to. We'll start with the NBA and get that rocking first. A few things from last night. Lakers beat the Rockets 104-98. Fail indeed. So the Rockets, of course, were red hot going into L.A., They leave there with a loss. 20 for Luka last night, but really it was Vincent and Finney Smith who were hitting threes. Both of them had 6 apiece to help the Laker cause. But at the end, it was LeBron with the defense, Scotty, on TNT.
And they give him space. Şengün inside. Mismatch on Luke. Knocked away. LeBron erases the shot. LeBron blocks the shot.
I mean, what else is new? I watched a big chunk of this game when I got home, and I mean, the Lakers were losing early on. They didn't look good at all, and then by the time it came out of the half, they started winning the game, and everybody was getting involved. And I was actually watching Finney and Vincent jacking threes and making them, and I was like, "What is happening here?" Because those two don't ever do anything. I mean, for the most part, they don't. Like, this team is built around 3 players. Right? We all know Reeves, LeBron, Luka. That's it. That's the show. That's what people pay to see.
That's what they pay to see, no doubt. But it was those other guys, the support staff, that was helping out, and they get the job done. The Celtics win their 9th in a row. They complete a sweep of their road trip, 117-103 over the Grizzlies, who have now lost 3 in a row, lost 7 of their last 10. They've got all kinds of problems. 26 for Horford. Horford had 6 threes last night. What was going on in the NBA with all these guys hitting threes? How about that? The Thunder beat the Bulls.
Jesus.
And the Thunder just mauling teams. 145-117. They win their 10th in a row. This is the second time this year they've won. They've had a 10-plus winning streak. I would say that to you. I gave you that stat yesterday about all those games they've won by 10-plus points. And the other 4 teams that have done it all won the title. They're the 5th team. Like, I'm starting to think it too. Like, I think they're winning it all also. I know people love Boston, but I think the Thunder are the best team.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to end up playing Boston, and Boston's going to chuck threes, and the Thunder are going to do both. They're going to chuck threes, and they're going to score inside and dunk and go to the 10 and have a bunch of mid-range shots. And they play as good a defense, if not better, than the Boston Celtics. So I think the Boston Celtics are really good. I think they will come out of the East. I've always said that. I've never bought the Cavs and Knicks that are going to, somehow beat the Celtics when it comes down to a Eastern final. But I think the Thunder will beat them. I do.
I think the Thunder will beat them as well. I think they're hands down the best team right now. Elsewhere, the Pacers were down 16 in the second half to the Kings at home last night, but they come all the way back. Halliburton and Siakam finishing the job off. FanDuel Sportsnet.
But can they score on this end?
Well, they almost double the power when he starts to play.
Halliburton got it. It's a three. Raises his hands to the sky.
He's trying to get the fans into
16,000 standing.
Don't let him double it.
Here's Siakam.
I like a man
His
to take
three.
that.
Good!
Man that'll take that. That's a man been struggling all night. It's a big shot. Siakam.
Yeah, I thought Naismith had the best game for the Pacers. They win it, they don't cover.
They win it, they do not cover. 111 to 109 in that. Clippers beat Orlando 96-87. So the Clippers continue their march. They have won 8 of their last 10. The Heat beat the Wizards 120 to 94. About the Nets last night, 113-109 over the Mavs.
What a fail.
In Dallas. Fail for the Mavs, who, look, they got back into a spot in the play, and I'll give you the standings in a little bit. But you can't lose at home to the Nets. That's just not what you want to be doing. Now, I wanted to bring this up because I saw this and you sent it to me also, so I was going to mention it to you. Apparently, the word on the street is that the Nets have this grand plan that this summer, actually, I believe they're calling it Plan A, is what they're calling it. The Nets' Plan A this summer is they believe that they're going to be able to steal Giannis away from Milwaukee. That is apparently where the Nets are pushing all their chips into the middle to try to pry Giannis out of Brewtown.
You know, it's not the worst idea in the world to try to go for it and make that a reality. I think that's very ambitious. I don't have a problem with them trying to get him. I actually believe that he's had his fill of Milwaukee. I really do. I think he does want to move on. And he knows they're not winning any titles in Milwaukee anymore. They're not winning titles. And it's not because Dame time has a blood clot. I mean, when they had him, they didn't win. They had him last year, they didn't win. They got him now, they didn't win. Now he's injured, they're not going to win. So I think the Knicks will beat them, and that'll be that. And then he's going to start getting miserable. Like, this guy is all about, I mean, literally all about winning. He doesn't care about anything else. He just wants to win. And he plays to win. Every night he tries to win. That's all he cares about. Stats, nothing. And there is nothing meaningful to him at all except winning. He wants to win games and chips. That's it. But I got news for him. If he goes to Brooklyn, he's not winning there either. Because they don't win Shaq.
Like, no, they don't.
I mean, they don't win Shaq ever. They'll never win a title in Brooklyn. Ever.
Never. I agree with you. It's not exactly the place where he's going to go get another ring. I just don't see that.
It's not.
And you also, at this point in the game, as you know, you need somebody else with you. At least one other big star.
Can you imagine? I know they'd never let it happen, but can you imagine him playing with Kobe and with Giddey and with Buzelis in Chicago? If they had that big with those three, I mean that would be a legit team. Legit. He's with a team now that's just been so stale for so long. They have.
He definitely needs a recharge. I don't know. You see, the thing with that is you'd probably have to give up one or two of those guys just
probably
to get
Buzelis.
You'd have to give up a couple of those guys probably to even bring him there. You know, the Nets is, you know, that's obscurity too. Like you say, not only do they never win anything, but they're the second class team in town. You know, they're not, you know, that's...
Oh, they're in artsy Brooklyn. It's so artsy.
Go ask Durant and Irving and Harden because they know. They even being in Brooklyn, they didn't matter next to the Knicks. They never did.
Slim Reaper couldn't win in Brooklyn.
Team we expected to be a national championship frontrunner all season long and even before the big dance. That is the Duke Blue Devils.
I don't care that people are like, oh, anticlimactic. You have the 4 best teams lined up, superstar coaches, young coaches, old coaches, veteran teams, young teams. This has got a lot of great storylines heading to the Final Four this weekend.
Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
By the way, I was on Cincinnati in that game. Anyway, you slice it, Carver High, and the other games that are going to be later, obviously, we'll talk about later, right? Am I wrong about that? These other games that are after this game?
You mean the Crown? Yes.
Yeah, the Crown and the
NIT.
NIT. All right,
Yes,
so we're still...
need the Anteaters tonight in the NIT.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about the Anteaters.
I am too. So hopefully we'll get to that later. But we're talking about the NBA right now. Sounds like they're shutting guys down and letting them go to the Acme Oyster Bar.
Yeah, there's only obviously a couple of weeks left. Most of these teams really only have less than 10 games to go. The Pelicans are one of them. They have 7 games left, and they'll go the rest of the way without Zion and CJ McCollum. So just completely pulling the rug out. Hope you don't have a ticket down in New Orleans.
They got to get this guy out of there. Somebody's got to save him. His agent, his mother, anybody has got to get him out of there. Honestly, it's prison. It is prison. He is too good, in my opinion. And I am not giving up on him. I am not one to believe that he is anywhere near finished because he's had some injuries and because of his weight and everything else. He was down to I think career low in weight recently. And all I know is that when I watch that guy play basketball, he is an absolute mother fereller. You cannot stop him. He goes and does whatever he wants, and they are afraid of him in the NBA. He is a bull in a china shop. My man goes to the 10 and gets what he wants. He eats. They got to get him out of there. He's got to play for a winner. They have screwed this guy up so bad down there with all of their bullshack in New Orleans. That's all there is to it. I don't care what anybody thinks of me down there. I could give a rat's ass. He got to get out of that purgatory. That's what that place is. That's a career killer. You end up down there. And from now on, that's where we're trading anybody that needs to be dealt with. I would have traded Butler there. You need to be dealt with. We're going to ship you to purgatory. At least in purgatory, they'll be able to eat well. I'll give them that. They'll eat well. There's good jazz. And then nothing else good about it. Just purgatory.
Purgatory.
Get Zion out
that's
of there.
for sure. Now, look, and part of this also is they're one of these teams that's got a chance to be in that top 3 with the odds for Flag. I mean, you better hope
they'll ruin him too
down there next. We can't have him down there.
They cannot have him down there. That will ruin the NBA if that's where that guy ends up. That poor kid.
They're 4th right now on the list, so they need to get into that top 3 to have the same amount of odds as everyone else.
I literally would rather see him go play with Wembanyama and which would be so unfair if he ends up playing with Wemby in San Antonio. If they got Cooper Flagg on that team with Castle, the whole thing would seem fixed to me. But anywhere but New Orleans. You can quote me on that.
I'm gonna tell you where I think he's gonna end up. Honestly, out of these teams that are in like the top three, if there was one that.
Where
now
is
look,
it?
we know that this is not. This is all random. The NBA never fixes this. We understand that. That never happens. But if there's a team, now I know Washington.
Except it always happens.
I know Washington needs everything because they've been brutal forever. The Jazz have also been bad now for a long time, and the Jazz are a team that obviously they never won. They had some history, Stockton Malone, and they were good for a little
Mormons.
while.
Honest to
I could
Christ.
see him. I could see the Jazz winning the lottery and getting flagged. I could see him going to Utah, and he'd be the star of that team. He'd be he'd be the guy. That'll revitalize that franchise. I could see that absolutely happening. And DC needs him too. The Wizards need anything to make them relevant, but I could see Flagg. I'm calling Utah right now. Because they're in the 3 right now. They're one of the 3 teams that would have the best chance to get him. I think it's gonna be Utah.
So who are the 3 that have the best chance? New Orleans, Utah, and who? DC.
Right now it's Utah, DC, and Charlotte have the 3 worst records. DC, Utah, Charlotte have the 3 worst records. The Pelicans are 4th. They're 21 and 54.
Charlotte would be good for him. He's playing in North Carolina now. He's like a god down there. And if he was playing in Charlotte, he'd be close to Duke, and I think it might be perfect for him. But you could be right, and I think it would be awful. I'm gonna just say it flat out, awful.
And Charlotte would then also have 2 guys, right? Because you'd have Ball and you'd have Flagg. You'd have Cooper Flagg and LaMelo
and Bridges.
And Bridges too. So they would actually have some semblance of finally building
Bridges
a team.
can play despite his off-court problems that he's had. One of these days, at some level, he'll grow up. I think most of it was young, infused idiocy. And now, he's back to playing. He's not causing trouble, and he's just balling out. He led him in scoring last night, whatever it was. He can put up points. He can bang. He can ball. He can do it all. And if you had those 3, you got something there.
Certainly do. The NBA handed down their suspensions for all the guys in the Pistons brawl the other night.
Good brawl.
With the Timberwolves. Isaiah Stewart got 2 games. 1 game for DiVincenzo, Ron Holland, Naz Reid, Marcus Sasser, all 1 game for them. That was after the fight. So Stewart got the heaviest hand dealt, the 2 games for him.
He's a badass. That's a guy I wouldn't fight. I've gotten in a lot of fights playing ball, but I would not fight him.
You don't want to fight that guy. The Knicks are signing P.J. Tucker to a 2-year deal. He'll be for the rest of this season, and now they have a team option for next year.
I got to be honest with you. I actually, because I think he's relatively shot, but at the same time, I would say this. He's a scrappy dude. He's a dog. He will get physical, and he can shoot that corner 3 with the best of them. That standing 3 he shoots with his legs spread in the corner, and he jacks it and makes it. Okay. I don't think it's the worst move I've ever seen by the Knicks to have a veteran, tough guy, badass dog give him a few minutes every game in the playoffs. Seriously.
He's a guy that you want just for that in the playoffs. In a long 7-game playoff series, he's a guy that will annoy the other team. He'll hit a couple of big shots.
Violent.
You don't even need him in the regular season. I just leave him on the bench in the regular season, let him rest, and then let him come in the playoffs and cause problems. That's really all that he needs to be there for. Trae Young will be Oklahoma's men's basketball assistant GM. So I guess everyone's doing this now. Curry did it.
And he gave him $1 million.
$1 million they get.
The team we expected to be a national championship frontrunner all season long and even before the big dance. That is the Duke Blue Devils.
I don't care that people are like, oh, anticlimactic. You have the 4 best teams lined up, superstar coaches, young coaches, old coaches. Veteran teams, young teams. This has got a lot of great storylines heading to the Final Four this weekend.
Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Mafia just said, I said we were doing team building, and he said, screw you, I never liked you. Like, I was just like, I mean, honestly, on a Tuesday, just it's a little overwhelming. We're not even at the top of the hour, and I'm getting hit from all sides. It's just, he's that way sometimes. Won a bunch of titles with me, never grateful, just constantly wants to smash a ball in my face. And you'll have that. Like I said, there's certain people I will not fight. He's one of them. Isaiah Stewart would be another. I would not fight Zion Williamson. Anyway, I got to get the best
Jimmy
and worst.
Lymphoma? Would you fight Jimmy Lymphoma?
I would fight him. I don't like him,
Okay.
so I would get involved with him, and I think it would be a decent fight.
Possibly. Yes, best teams against the spread. Usually I give you the whole season, but why not today we mix it up since the All-Star break? And why did I also want to do this? Because the Thunder have just been... as we mentioned before, I mean, they smash everyone. 16-5 ATS since the break.
Jesus.
Bulls pretty good, too. 15-5 for the Bulls. Raptors, Heat, and Celtics the best. The worst. I mean, look at the Grizz, man. 3-17-1 against the spread since the All-Star break. That is, go ahead, say it. Ha. Horrible. 3-17-1. Against the spread. That is pathetic out of them.
We're going to find out later what's the deal with what happened
Yeah.
with Jenkins and the whole team when we get Eric on.
Get Eric in the mix. I'll let you know. Standings for you after last night. As you know, in the East, still Cleveland, Boston, Knicks. They've got those spots locked up. Indiana and Detroit, the 4-5 right now, with the Bucks in there at the 6. Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, Chicago are in the play-in spots. The only team that can dethrone one of those is Toronto. They are, let's just say, hanging by a thread. They're 5 games back in the loss of the Bulls. They've won they've won 4 in a row, but they're running out of runway. They don't have enough room to land the plane. They're running out of games.
They have to win every single game. What do they have? 8 left, and they're 5 back?
They have got 8 games left, and they're 5 back in the loss.
It's over.
So they would have to win every game pretty much, and the Bulls the Bulls are Miami to lose every game, which I just doesn't feel like that's going to happen.
Some of the skin's peeling off the Bulls right now after their run. They've started to hit a wall.
They've gotten smashed the last couple times out, so not a good scene for them. As far as the West goes, only one team locked in, and that's OKC, and we know that. I mean, they're running away and hiding. There in the Western Conference. But look at how tight this is, the rest of it. Houston's 2, Denver 3, Lakers 4, Memphis 5, Golden State 6, Minnesota
so it'd be
and the
Denver
Clippers.
and Golden State in the playoffs,
It would
and
be
then
right
Lakers
now
and
it
Memphis.
But like you look at those records, like there's only 2 games in the loss separating Houston, Denver, and the Lakers. There's only 1 game in the loss column separating Memphis, Golden State, Minnesota, and the Clippers. If Memphis keeps falling on their face, by this time next week, they might be 7 or 8 and have to be playing in the play-in game. I mean, that's how tight it is right now. Razor-thin margins.
So wait, let me get this straight. How many games back are Minnesota and the Clippers from the 6 and 5?
1 game. 1 game back. There's 1 game separating those 4 teams right now in the standings.
Well, that's going to change because Memphis is melting like an ice cream cone.
They are. And as you also probably saw, Dallas has moved into the 9. They're out of the drop zone. Phoenix is 1 game back in the loss of Sacramento.
With no Slim Reaper. And then I'm supposed to go watch him play Sunday, and he's not playing. And
he's not going to be there.
I even brought up to someone, why go?
Why go? Yeah, why go? This one thing that has not changed over the last few weeks. The Celtics are still the favorites in the East, and the Thunder are still the favorites in the West. There you go. This really hasn't moved much, and probably won't till we get some matchups, locked-in matchups for the playoffs. There you go.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with those top 4 right there in the West, and I think I do believe the playoffs will be awesome, actually, and I think the West will be better than the East in terms of playoffs.
I think the West will be better than the East as well. I think the East, it's really is anyone going to beat Boston, and that's it. I mean, that's really the only question.
Yeah,
I don't think that's happening. I think there's a lot more intrigue out West and better matchups. We'll come back with tonight's games, including the Warriors will be in Memphis tonight. Those are 2 of those teams we just said, and those 4 that are separated by a game. Crucial game.
We know who's going to win that game.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.